What is going on with the A's Stadium in Las Vegas? It's been a minute since any news has come out. Never fear, Booney is here. I got you covered today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. I am your host, Booney, one name. I'm from the Bay Area, and I've been an A's fan since '81. If you're here, you're either an A's fan, a baseball junkie, or someone who just accidentally clicked on the wrong podcast. Either way, welcome aboard. Here at Locked On A's, we're just not talking baseball. We are living it. From Oakland to Sacramento to wherever the rumor mill says the team might end up next. Las Vegas, anyone? This is the place where green and gold runs deep. We've got game breakdowns, team news, and the occasional rant about Oakland politics and cheap owners. But what's an A's conversation without a little spice? We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. Very excited for today's show. You ask why the excitement? Well, I'm going to tell you why. A listener that goes by the name of Togo and Moss wanted a rundown of all players in the farm system. Well, Togo, I don't have enough time to do the entire farm system, but will prospects that got invited to spring training suffice? Well, it's going to have to, considering I've already recorded this. That's later. First, it's been a while since we have heard any news coming out of Las Vegas regarding the A's new stadium. Thanks to Mick Akers of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, I have some news and have done my best to break it all down for you. Before we do that, do we know what time it is right now? Yes, it's game time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Just in case you have not heard, the Athletics are officially heading to Vegas. This marks MLB's first franchise relocation since the Montreal Expos became the Washington Nationals in 2005. If all goes according to plan, the A's will be playing in their now $1.75 billion stadium on the Las Vegas Strip in 2028. Now, before we go forward, let's get you caught up on some key developments so far. Funding has been secured. $350 million in public funding from Nevada via Senate Bill 1, a $300 million construction loan from Goldman Sachs and US Bank. Oh, and here's the fun twist. The A's have to spend $100 million of their own money before they can tap into public funds. It's like when your parents made you save up for half the cost of your first car, except your car didn't cost $1.75 billion. So far, the A's have spent $40 million on the design process. The site selection has been finalized. The stadium will occupy 9 acres of the 35-acre Tropicana site on the Las Vegas Strip, sharing the space with Bally's Corp planned mega resort, because nothing says America like slot machines next to a baseball diamond. Land use permit filed. The A's officially have submitted their land use permit to Clark County, a crucial step in getting construction underway. FAA approval in progress. What does this mean? The Federal Aviation Administration is reviewing the stadium's 320-foot height, a necessary process given the site's proximity to McCarran International Airport. Yes, the stadium will be 320 feet high. You ask why? Why not? And the stadium will include sustainability features. Let's hope sustainability includes keeping beer prices under $15. Doubt it. As we know, their interim home has been announced. The A's will play in a AAA ballpark in Sacramento while waiting for the Vegas stadium to be built. Now, what happens next? What really needs to happen next? While progress is being made, no question about it, several steps remain before construction can begin. First, entitlement and permitting process. The A's first must finalize agreements with Clark County, including land use, zoning, traffic, and parking plans. The A's are asking for waivers to reduce parking requirements because who needs parking when you can just helicopter in from your penthouse suite? The county must approve the project at the upcoming Town Advisory Board and Clark County Commission meetings. Design finalization. Conceptual and schematic designs are complete with construction drawings now underway. Once construction drawings reach 30% completion, groundbreaking can begin. So, breaking ground is projected between April and June of this year. Site preparation, including dirt moving and laying foundational work, must begin by mid-2025 to stay on schedule for a 2028 opening. The permitting process may be phased to allow initial construction to start before all approvals are in place. Of course, no major project comes with its headaches, and this one has enough potential roadblocks to fill an entire episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Despite progress, several challenges could delay or complicate the move. Here's what could trip up the A's. Permitting delay. If the county process takes longer than expected, construction could be pushed back. Financial risks. While funding is in place, economic factors like inflation, loan approvals could impact costs. Let's talk about the MLB oversight. The league obviously is heavily invested in ensuring a smooth transition, but any unforeseen hurdles could require intervention. After all, no one wants another Miami Marlins stadium debacle. So what should you watch for in the coming months? Well, first, Clark County approvals. Expect updates from county meetings on the land use permit and other agreements. If groundbreaking happens by summer 2025, the team will stay on schedule for 2028. Here's an important piece. Bally's resort plans. I mentioned it a bit earlier, but let me go into a little bit more detail regarding Bally's. The Bally's resort next to the stadium could impact design and the A's timeline. The A's won't be the only game in town on this 35-acre plot. Bally's Corp is planning on a mega resort that will roll out in a couple phases. First, a hotel tower, casino, and dining options, all designed to complement the ballpark. Think baseball meets blackjack. And a full build-out. Over 3,000 hotel rooms, a 90,000 square foot casino with 1,500 slot machines, 75 table games, a poker room, and a massive sports book. Bally's chairman Soo Kim has been tight-lipped about the specifics, but promises something world-class. Translation, bring your wallet. For MLB and the A's as a whole, this move is both exciting and nerve-wracking. On one hand, it opens up new markets and revenue streams. On the other hand, it sets a precedent that could embolden other teams to seek greener pastures. Looking at you, Tampa Bay Rays. The A's move to Las Vegas is bold, controversial, and undeniably fascinating, just like Vegas itself. Whether it turns out to be a grand slam or a strikeout remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: baseball fans across the country will be watching slowly as the saga unfolds. So grab some popcorn or maybe a martini. Sit back and enjoy the show. Because if there's one thing we've learned about the A's over the years, it's that they sure know how to keep things interesting, even if it means leaving town to do it. Speaking about keeping things interesting, the A's prospects are beyond talented. What can we expect next? Today's episode is brought to you in part by Prize Picks. The big game is almost here, and there's no better way to make it even more exciting than with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With over 10 million members and billions in winnings awarded, Prize Picks makes it fun and simple to get into the action. Here's how it works. You pick more or less on at least two players' projections. And if you're right, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks even has a free pick for the big game where Patrick Mahomes only needs to throw 1 yard to win. Pair that with one more correct pick and you're cashing out. This week, I'm looking at the board for the Super Bowl and I'm selecting more for Travis Kelce on receiving yards and more for Patrick Mahomes over passing yards. What I love most? Fast, safe withdrawals. When I win, my cash is in my account in as little as 15 minutes. Check out the promos tab to tail any of the super sweet Millie winners big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. The A's farm system is quietly stacking up intriguing arms. Three of the most exciting additions are Mason Barnett, a power pitcher with a strikeout upside; Chen Zhong-Ao Zhuang, a command artist who dominated across 3 minor league levels; and Jack Perkins, one of the fastest rising arms in the A's system. In his dominant second half of 2024, turned plenty of heads. All three have the potential to impact the big league rotation in the coming years. So let's break down what makes them tick and what to expect moving forward. First, Mason Barnett, right-handed pitcher, 23 years old. Barnett was involved in the Lucas Ursay deal with the Royals. He was drafted in 2022 in the 3rd round out of Auburn. And last year, he spent a majority of his time in Double-A. Here is his scouting breakdown. His pitching arsenal: mid-90s heater that touches 98 to 99 when he reaches back for it. But command can be spotty. Slider, 85 to 87 with swing and miss potential. Sometimes blends into his curveball, but when it's sharp, it tunnels well off the fastball and does get chases. Curveball, 80 to 83 miles per hour with a true 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock shape. Can be a weapon when he stays on top of it. But he is still trying to find consistency. Changeup, 86 to 87, used primarily against lefties. Good fade, but not a primary offering. His overall strengths: strikeout stuff, check. 31% K rate in the A's system shows he can miss bats at a high level. Fastball slider combo, check. If he refines the slider, it could be a true plus pitch. Durability, check. Logged 133 innings pitched between double-A stops, showing he can handle a starter's workload. Weaknesses, what does he need to get better at? Command issues. Walked 8% of the hitters, and the fastball can be erratic at times. Breaking ball consistency. Slider and curve can blur together. Needs clearer separation. Now, what MLB ball player would I compare him to? What is Barnett's ceiling? If you were to compare him to an MLB player, I would say best case scenario, you're getting someone like a Nathan Eovaldi from the Texas Rangers, a power arm with high strikeout ability if command tightens. Worst case, what's his floor? Relief-only version of like a Chris Bassett, a former A. If he can't harness his command, he might shift to a multi-inning relief role. Barnett has the tools to be a mid-rotation starter if he sharpens his command. He needs to refine his breaking ball consistency and locate his fastball more reliably. Either he will be an opening day 26-man roster type of guy. If not, we'll see him at some point during the year for sure. How about Chen Zhong-Ao Zhuang? We haven't heard too much of this guy. We acquired him as an international free agent in November of 2022. He's 24 years old and has spent the majority of his career at Double-A. He has a fastball that sits at 92 mph, touches 97, but velocity does fluctuate. His changeup, low 80s with excellent arm side fade, generates ugly swings. Splitter, a different look from the changeup, giving him another off-speed weapon. Curveball, mid-70s, again with a true 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock drop, works well against lefties, but lacks bite at times. Strengths, elite command, check. 12 walks in 86 innings, 3.6% based on ball rate is elite for any level. He has a bunch of out pitches, changeup, splitter combo, gives him weapons against lefties. What does he need to work on? Inconsistent fastball velocity. He needs to maintain mid-90s velocity more consistently. He doesn't really have a true out pitch versus righties. A slider or sweeper would help balance his arsenal. Who would I compare him to? Best case scenario? He's like a Kyle Hendricks. Remember that veteran, played with the Cubs for most of his career? Command-driven pitcher with off-speed deception. That's what we're looking at for an upside for Chen. Who's the floor? Worst case scenario? Like a Josh Fleming, a command-reliant swingman who struggles against higher-level bats. What's his future outlook in Major League Baseball estimated time of arrival? Well, if he maintains his command and refines his arsenal, he could stick as a back-end starter. He needs to develop a harder breaking ball to handle righties more effectively. Depending on how the A's pitching looks this year, best case scenario, late 2025, but more likely 2026. Finally, one of my favorite prospects, an under the radar prospect, Jack Perkins. He's one of the fastest rising arms in the A's system. He has a high riding fastball, a newly refined sweeper, and a bulldog mentality on the mound. He's forcing his way into the conversation as a legitimate rotation piece for the A's future. Perkins' command has been the biggest question, but after posting a 4.3 ERA with 54 Ks in his final 7 starts of the year. It looks like he's putting things together at the right time. If the improvements stick, the A's might have found a mid-rotation arm, or at worst, a power reliever with wipeout stuff. His fastball sits at 93 to 95 as a starter, touching 96 in shorter outings, generates swing and misses up in the zone due to his riding life from a lower release point. Slider sweeper evolved into a true sweeper in 2024, sitting mid-80s with high spin rates, generates sharp horizontal movement, making it his best swing and miss secondary. How about his cutter? Sits around 90 and gives him a different look against lefties. Could be a key for long-term success as a starter. Curveball, mid-80s, and really more of a change of pace pitch. Command isn't so consistent, but it flashes solid shapes at times. Walks have been an issue in the past, but recent improvements are promising. He still needs to locate his secondaries more consistently to stick as a starter. Strengths, fastball. It plays up due to movement and deception. Swing and miss, sweeper has turned into a legit weapon, and he had a strong finish in 2024, suggests that he is really getting better. Obviously, what he needs to work on, command. He has to get consistent, especially on his breaking stuff. Curveball is lagging behind his other secondaries. Right now, it's not even really a curveball. It's just more to change the pace, change things up. MLB comparison and projection, best case, the mid-rotation starter with a plus fastball sweeper combo. Reminds me again a lot of Nathan Eovaldi of the Rangers and Drew Rasmussen. Worst case outcome, I see him as a high leverage, multi-inning reliever who leans on his fastball and sweeper. Think of a right-handed Andrew Miller type. ETA, possibly late 2025, probably early 2026. It all depends if the A's opt to fast track him. He could debut sooner in a bullpen role, possibly. We'll see. I like Perkins a lot. Keep your eye on him. Speaking about a player that may be fast tracked, let's get into the A's prospects as far as their boppers or hitters go. Up next. This episode is brought to you in part by Game Time. Attending NFL playoff games is an unforgettable experience that brings fans together. I remember when I attended the Niners versus Giants in the wild card game in San Francisco, Candlestick Park. Jeff Garcia was the quarterback for the Niners. Kerry Collins was the quarterback for the Giants. I believe the Niners were down 31-3, something ridiculous like that. Came all the way back, won the game. You talk about NFL playoff games that inspires you to connect with other fans. You couldn't get much bigger than that game itself. Even though the next week the Niners did get blasted by the Buccaneers, who eventually did win the Super Bowl, that game was special, and it was a memory. I remember the excitement and energy of that playoff game, and I'm looking forward to making new memories next season when the Niners are hopefully a little bit more successful. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The Warriors just made a exciting new trade, picking up Jimmy Butler. I can't wait to see him at the Chase Center. And once the Warriors are done with this 6-game road trip, I am definitely going to browse through ticket deals on Game Time Picks as I have done in the past. It's so easy to find great value for all kinds of seats around the venue. Browsing through the deals was simple, and I have always found great deals for all kinds of seats. The super deal was especially impressive, offering the best value for the event. The apps feature like seat views before you buy and all-in prices with no surprise fees at checkout made the experience smooth and reliable. Plus, the on-time ticket delivery and lowest price guarantees have given me a peace of mind. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. What time is it? Game Time.
Due to time constraints, we unfortunately do not have enough time to cover the hitting prospects, and I will make sure I cover those on Monday, just so you're not in too much of suspense. The three hitters we'll be covering, I'm sure you can guess, Nick Kurtz will be one of them. Catcher, Daniel Susac, and Max Muncy will be the third. That's on Monday. Starting on Monday as well, pitchers and catchers do report, and we will be going to 5 days a week. If you guys have any topics that you would like to cover, if you would like to come on the show and talk A's, whether it's about what is going on the field or off the field, shoot me a message. You can leave a message on the YouTube chat. You can email me at lockedonathletics@gmail.com, or you can message me on X or Blue World or whatever it is called these days. The only thing I ask is that you have a reliable computer and technology in order to be able to come on. Again, any topics that you would like me to cover, shoot me a message. I would love to. I am looking forward to pitchers and catchers reporting and the continued news to come out of Vegas and to see how the season all unfolds. It is a very, very exciting time. So thank you so much for making Locked On A's your first listen today. For your second listen, find Locked On MLB. Baseball guru Sully brings a daily blend of humor and baseball, keeping you updated on every rumor and story throughout the offseason. Find Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and I will see you guys on Monday. Take care, fellas.